What is going on? It is Tuesday, so you know what that means. It is Touchdown Detroit Lions time over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. I'm your host, Nick Harkson, and it's Victory Tuesday, baby. Yeah, that's right, because the Lions won last night, 42-29 over the Seahawks. We finally got a revenge on the Seahawks after a long stretch of losing to them. But no more Pete Carroll. Their new coach is pretty decent, though. Their new coach is pretty good. And, yeah, they fought hard, but not hard enough. Because the Lions came out on top, and now we are 3-1. And the Tigers, that's why this show has been delayed today. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze. The Tigers just won 3-1, so yeah, 3-1 is the number going around Detroit right now. And it's a good number because that's a good record to have for the Lions. And yeah, the Tigers won for all those Tigers fans out there. John Peterson, good to see you in here. Go Lions, great win. Yes, I agree. It was a great win. Finally got the offense going. Goff said he was expecting this. They were all kind of expecting this to happen. And it happened. So, finally, because I was getting a little worried there. The defense was showing up the last few games. The offense was like, we're like, come on. You have your chances. Let's have a big game. And they finally did it. But the defense then kind of, they got worked a little bit last night. But they came through when it mattered. And we'll get into all that. But say what's up. Once you're in here, we got John Peterson in here commenting only, but that's okay. This isn't, once again, we're later than normal. Last week I was on Wednesday, and this week I'm an hour late because the Tigers played today, and I didn't want to disrupt anybody who was watching the Tigers game. I know there's a lot of Detroit fans here, so, a lot of people like the Tigers, and they haven't been to the playoffs in a while, so they got a nice gritty win. The Gritty Tigs. That's what everybody's calling them. The Gritty Kitties. They ain't kitties no mo. They in the playoffs. But that's why I'm a little bit late today. But say what's up once you're in here. And I'll start yapping. We can get into this. This might be a shorter one with less viewers. Less comments going. But I'll just give you my take on what we're talking about right now with Detroit Lions football. Not too many injuries in the game happened yesterday, which is a good thing, and we have the bye week after this 42-29 victory, so we're feeling good going into the bye week. I don't like having an early bye week like we have, but hopefully with, not too many injuries. I know Terrion Arnold did leave holding his shoulder going into the locker room at the end of the game. He played it out. So there might be something to watch there. We'll find out more on the practice report coming up here. But, they're on the bye week. They're going to be able to rest. Hopefully we get some guys back. Hopefully Frank Ragnow's back, even though the line did hold up. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But, yeah, that is, I guess, the best thing about going into this bye week is that we are banged up already early on in the season. So we can get some guys back and start rolling because we got a little bit of a stretch. It's not going to be the easiest after this bye week. But let's get into the game that happened last night. Great Monday night win. Offense was firing on all cylinders. Jared Goff only had to pass it 18 times, and he completed all 18 passes. Most ever done in NFL history, most pass completions in a game without an incompletion. And as a matter of fact, he had more touchdown receptions than he had incompletions because he had a touchdown reception from Amon-Ra St. Brown. So good on Goff there. They named him player of the game. A lot of people did. And Dan Campbell did not give him a game ball. He gave the game ball to Ben Johnson. He gave a game ball to Jamison Williams, which JMO had a huge touchdown. And apparently he was out there throwing a lot of blocks. But he only had 2 receptions for 80 yards. That is, he led the team in yards. And then, he had the touchdown as well. And then he, of course, honored Megatron with the dunk slam. Got the penalty, but nobody was mad at him because we did make the extra point, and he was honoring Calvin Johnson on Calvin Johnson's night. The governor of Michigan declared declared it Calvin Johnson Jr. Day in the state of Michigan yesterday, even though I know that they were honoring him, putting him into the One Pride Ring of Honor, but it should have been on like 8-1. They should have been like, hey, we're going to honor you, Calvin, tonight, but from now on, moving forward on 8-1 will be Calvin Johnson Day because his number was 81, but, or it could have just been on his birthday on Sunday. Either way, I get it, why they did it, but still, great little tribute there from Jameson Williams to Calvin Johnson on his special night. And apparently, while we're on the topic of Calvin Johnson, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but apparently there was 93 former Lions players there. I got a question asked to me earlier in the day. They're like, do you think Stafford's going to be there? And I was like, no. Even though they're buddies, Stafford can't show his face during these times. He doesn't like us anymore. We're just another place to play. We're the enemy now. But, cool little tribute from Jameson Williams. And people said he couldn't dunk, so he had to prove them wrong. But then the final game ball went to Kirby Joseph. Also well-deserved. But Jared Goff did not get the game ball, even though he had a perfect game. 18 for 18. 292 yards. 2 throwing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown. Great on Jared Goff there. And the run game was just great. The line, like I said, they held up really well. Without Frank Ragnow, I thought Glasgow did great at center. And Coyote Awasika, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but he filled in and he did well. He was moving bodies around. Now, I know that we were playing against a beat-up Seattle defensive line, and their linebacking core was kind of beat up as well. But you know what? We were too. We didn't have our star center in there. We were missing some key players on defense, and Brian Branch and Barnes is going to be out for a while. Davenport's out for the season. Iffy still hasn't played this year. So, we were down a lot of key guys as well. But for, Coyote Awasika to step in and fill that role there at guard, it's not easy to do, but he's been there before. He's had to do this last year when Jonah Jackson was hurt a lot. But he did well. I thought he really, really stepped up to the plate and delivered. And when you watch on Gibbs' first touchdown run, he was the main driving force. Gibbs got right in behind him, got in there easy. Nobody really touched him. And it was happening for most of the night. So good job on the offensive line on holding up, making that run game strong. Jahmyr Gibbs, 14 carries for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. Big night for Gibbs. He did not break the 100-yard mark, not even all-purpose, because he didn't even have a reception last night, which is kind of rare for Gibbs. But Montgomery, 12 carries, only 40 yards with a touchdown, but had that big time, mean, nasty, angry run. He got the Angry Run Award again. He got the scepter from Good Morning Football, but go back and watch that replay. I could watch it a million times. That Montgomery run after the catch was beast mode, to say the least. The noise on the first guy hitting him and him just putting him on his butt was amazing. And then for him to just break off a few more tackles, get down the sideline, push the guy off him, it was a thing of beauty to watch. Laporta got in there a little bit more. 4 receptions, 53 yards. Tim Patrick with 2 big-time catches. He had one where he had a nice run after the catch, too. Looks like him and Goff are starting to link up a little bit more, and that's good to see. He is it reminded me a lot of the Josh Reynolds role last night. Him over the middle, the long body, everything just kind of reminded me of Josh Reynolds. So it's good to see that Tim Patrick and Goff are starting to click on the same page. Only 2 receptions, but they were 2 key receptions. So good to see that out of Tim Patrick. Amon-Ra St. Brown, of course, 6 receptions, 45 yards with a tutty. I just said Montgomery with the 40-yard reception. Brock Wright, 2 receptions, 13 yards. Khalif Raymond getting some action with the reception. And then, of course, we talked about it, Goff with the tutty reception and throwing it into the fans. I thought maybe he should have kept that one. His first touchdown reception. Amon-Ra's first touchdown throw. They could have shared it. I don't know. But yes, welcome in. I see some people. Detroit fan, man. Good to see you in here, Hatter's House. Victory Tuesday. That's right. Go Lions, baby. It feels nice because we can't lose this next week either. And over here on Touchdown Detroit Lions, we celebrate every day until the next game if we win. So we got Victory Tuesday. We got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way until the following Sunday to celebrate this win, baby. I know we got to focus, but we're the fans. We can enjoy this. We can talk some smack right now around the league. And we're looking good. I'm really, really on the up and up after that performance from the offense. Now, the defense does need to clean it up a little bit. I think they will. Detroit fan man right here said it, couldn't say it any better. We really missed Branch's tackling. We did. We missed Brian Branch big time out there. You could see it now, how much of an impact that he makes. So it'll be good to get him back. He was just ill, and it wasn't from the concussion. They did confirm that the illness was not from his concussion or him being in concussion protocol. Whatever had happened, he just got sick. It was unfortunate. No matter what, something was trying to keep him out of that game. But luckily, we were able to sustain and come up with the victory. We're down 2 safeties there. And I thought that Joseph, the other Joseph, not Kirby Joseph, but Brandon Joseph, did a decent job. He didn't do bad. There were missed tackles from a few different players out there, but Branch was definitely missed. Now, I'll tell you that, Barnes, he's going to be missed, but Jack Campbell stepped up to the plate big time, and so did Rodrigo. I thought the linebacking core did just fine without Barnes in there. I do miss Barnes. He was starting to come into his own and really doing well for our defense. But Jack Campbell stepped it up big time last night. I don't know how many of you read into PFF grades, but he was the highest graded player on defense for the Lions, according to PFF. He had a big time crucial play there, punching the ball out from DK Metcalf. Metcalf had gotten the first down. He kept fighting for yards, stayed up. And what do? We got the beast, Jack Campbell, coming through and knocking it out. Not Amik Robinson, sorry. Carlton Davis with the big-time return. But I thought Jack stepped up, and he's getting better and better still. So love to see that, because Jack Campbell, we drafted him in the first round for a reason, and he's really, really going to play a key role for us moving forward, especially with Barnes out. Rodrigo, I thought, did fine. He came in with a timely sack. Seattle was putting up numbers, but I thought that we held our own. The turnover from Jack Campbell, of course, was huge, and then Kirby Joseph coming up with an insane interception. He did a very good job of holding on to that and keeping control underneath his body when he fell to the ground. But Kirby, 11th career interception, really having a year so far. Love to see that out of Kirby Joseph, getting the game ball, of course, after that as well. But there were a lot of penalties on our defense. You don't like to see that. I thought that there were some whack ones. Carlton Davis, him and DK Metcalf were fighting all game. I thought that was more of, they should have let him play. Carlton Davis even said in the post-game press conference, or in the scrum in the locker room, he said that he felt like the refs were on Seattle's side a little bit more. So he might catch a fine for that. Who knows? But he said it, and I agree with him. There were some plays where they were both getting handsy with each other. They're both physical style players, and you got to let the boys play. But they were calling it more on us than anything. And Terrion Arnold, once again, a lot of penalties. He's very handsy. He did have some that they let go. He's a very sticky cornerback there, but he's got to learn a different little technique there to not be so obvious with his hands. He is getting better and better each game. I thought he had some nice pass deflections or breakups against Lockett there, and he was really holding his own. But he's got to cut down on those penalties. He's getting flagged every game, at least a couple of them, and a lot of times they're big-time penalties, putting them in key positions to go down and score. But I love, that he's out there being competitive. He's not backing down. He is fighting. These are more physical receivers, but there were times, yes, he was definitely a little too handsy. So if we could get him to maybe just camouflage that a little bit more, or to just play not so grabby and still come up with some success, that would be good. But you love to see the rookie out there competing. I'm still, I'm not too concerned with it. It's the toughest position in the NFL, especially to come in as a rookie. I would argue it's the toughest. Maybe quarterback is a little bit harder as a rookie to come in and try and be a top guy. But, not very many have done it right off the bat. Sauce Gardner comes to mind. And Sauce did say something on Twitter. He was obviously watching the game. He's a Detroit native, so maybe he wants to come home. He sees what's going on with the Jets. Maybe he wants to come back to Detroit. But he said, if Terrion Arnold, he said if Arnold stands up a little bit higher in his press coverage and doesn't get so low, he'll be good, or he'll be good money. And so it's cool to see, a receiver from the D from Detroit who is on another team giving, or did I say receiver? I meant to say cornerback. Cornerback Sauce Gardner giving Terrion Arnold some advice. TA should take it. He's a good corner, but he'll get it figured out. I think that defense will get it figured out. We'll get guys back, just like the offense, and we should be better here in the future. Now, I don't know how long Barnes is going to be out, but if he just went on IR, so he's out another 4 games or 4 weeks, so I think that included this one. So we got 1. He's got the bye week, and then he'll be out 2 more at least. And then we have Branch, who should come back. He was set to come back on Monday night, but he was just ill, so he'll be back. And then hopefully we get Ragnow back, Isaiah Williams, all those guys. But I like our team stepping up. Our receiving core is looking solid. We got a new one in there who's a new weapon who everybody needs to watch out for, and Jared Goff. But this is a great overall win. A great overall win. I think Seattle Seahawks are one of the better teams in the NFL. They are banged up right now on defense, but their offense is a force to reckon with. Kenneth Walker, the second or the third, whatever his last name is. Good running back. Geno Smith is out there having a year. DK Metcalf, Lockett, the other receiver, they're not an easy task. And we went out there, put up enough points to win. And I think if our offense is playing like that, we can beat anybody. We could have put up more points if we wanted to. There were a few questionable calls here and there. I believe there was a third down, maybe it was fourth down, where they ran a little sweep to Gibbs or something outside. I just thought it was the wrong play. But overall, a very, very, very solid performance. Best game by the offense by far this year. And they were playing complimentary football. Like I said, Seattle, one of the better teams in the league. I think they have one of the better offenses, so it's going to be tough to stop them for any team moving forward. But when the defense needed stops, they came up with those timely stops. I was shocked to see that we received the ball, but we were kind of like to start off the game, but we were kind of doing that last year a lot of the times too. Once our offense started clicking, Dan Campbell wanted that ball first. We wanted to go down and score. We did in this game. I got a little nervous, but the defense stepped up right off the bat and gave us the ball back to where we could go down and do our thing. But all right, we got some more comments in here, and let it be known. Let the comments come in. Let them flow. That's what we're here for. And otherwise, it's going to be a little shorter episode. Since we do have the bye week, I usually like to get into the matchup coming up in the week. But since we don't have one, yes, we got Dallas next. But I'm going to save that for next week. I want to have something to talk about next week. But yeah, let the questions come in. Let the comments come in. And I will read every single one that I see pop up on my screen. Detroit fan man, find that you just got curb stomped meme. Curry's grab was outrageous. Yeah, I saw that meme as well. That was hilarious. I don't know if you follow this page, but there is on Instagram, Twitter. I think Facebook, all of it. Detroit Lions memes, I'm pretty sure is the name of that. I got to get this right because it's great. They post stuff after every win. They post stuff throughout the week. And it's always comedy. It's always great content. Let me get this up for you real quick. Where's it at? Memes. Detroit Lions memes. This is it? Is this it? No, that's not the one that I'm thinking of. So let me... we don't need to get into this. I'll figure it out. But, I did see that meme, and Kirby Joseph is the man. There we go. It's just Lions memes, all one word. It has a picture of Dan Campbell. I don't know if you can see that at all. It's probably not in focus. Well, that's not. I wasn't trying to show you Dan Campbell. That's the page. Probably can't see it. You probably can't see it, but go check it out. It's all comedy. It's great. But yes, Victory Tuesday for the Lions and for the Tigers, says MSU Detroit fan. MSU Detroit fan, I almost didn't recognize you in here because you got a new little logo for your name next to it. The Detroit Tigers logo. I love it. Yes. 3-1, a good number going around Detroit right now. The Lions are 3-1. The Tigers won 3-1 today. So it's a good day in Detroit. You can celebrate all around. Keep it moving. Tigers play again tomorrow. Hopefully they can get that W. I hate the Astros. So let's get that W. But, Victory Tuesday. Celebrated all week. Welcome in. We got a question over here. Kyle Webb. Good to see you, Kyle. I haven't talked in a while. Can the Detroit Lions beat the Vikings? Absolutely. And this is why I think we can. They are looking very good right now, but I think we are better in the run game. We're better in the trenches. We can control it a little bit more. I think we can go to a shootout with them, but I don't think Sam Darnold is going to sustain this for the entire season either. He is looking like an MVP candidate right now. I'll give him that. I will give him his flowers. They are looking really good. They look like a force to reckon with, but we saw towards the end of that Packers-Minnesota game, they started to crumble. The Packers started to figure something out, and the Vikings stopped scoring so much. They really didn't score hardly at all in that second half. So there is a formula to beating that team, and I think they kind of got exposed there in the second half of the Minnesota and Packers game. I think that we do have a better all-around roster. I think that Minnesota hasn't truly faced, they faced San Fran. They faced some good teams, but a lot of them been hurt when they're going and playing against them. They're going to be tough. And yes, they're going to be a thorn in our side the whole way through the season. But if you're asking, do you think we can beat them? I definitely think we can 100% beat the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to have to come down to a similar game style of what we played last night, and I think that's just the formula moving forward. We got the best running back duo in the league in Montgomery and Gibbs. You can't stop those two. Feed them the ball, run the play action. It's going to be money all year long. Now, can the defense hold up against Minnesota? That's going to be the question. Justin Jefferson, an amazing wide receiver. Addison starting to, he had a big game last week. Like I said, Darnold's looking good, and they're going to get Hawkinson back here soon. The running game's looking good there too with the former guy from the Packers, and Aaron Jones. But if any team can go into a shootout with the Minnesota Vikings, it's going to be us. We proved last night that our offense is back. We know what we need to do to put up big points. We put up 42. I think that we would have been able to do enough to beat Minnesota this week. They, like I said, started stalling out in the second half. We put up 42 points. Not saying that, Minnesota and Seattle are identical, because they're not. They're two completely different teams. But if we're putting up 42 points, I think we can beat most teams in this league. I think our defense is good enough to come away with some timely interceptions or turnovers, or just get the stops at the right time. We don't have to be perfect the entire game, but we have to be good enough to let our offense roll. And if our offense is going to be rolling like they were this last game, I think we can beat anybody in the league. So Minnesota looking good. Yes, they are atop the division right now at 4-0. They're scary. I'm not going to say, that they're no threat, because they are. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy win if we beat them. As a matter of fact, I'd probably say that we split with them this year. We get them at home. They get us at home. I don't want to say that. I don't like to say that, but it's the NFL. You're not going to win every single game. We've already lost one. If I had to predict another loss, it would be in Minnesota. But we can definitely beat them. I think that we can and we will this year. And it might be a shootout, or who knows? It might go for a shocker, and it might just be a defensive game. Sometimes those games where you expect it to be a big, high-scoring game, they come out, both offenses, poop the bed, and it turns into a defensive battle. But, yes, to answer your question, I think we can definitely beat them. Now, since we don't have any other questions coming in, the Bears did win their game, so they move ahead of the Packers just due to, points given up and points scored. But right now, it's Minnesota, number 1, Lions at 2, Bears at 3, and the Packers 4th in the division. And let's just go. We're at the bye week. Let's go. I'm gonna make my predictions for the rest of the year. John Peterson says Lions sweep Vikings. That's how I hope it goes. I think we have the team to do it, and who knows? I did say that Darnold, I don't see him sustaining this the whole entire year. The teams are going to start figuring him out. Yeah, I mean, he's running around. He's making plays on his own. He's not just a robot back there throwing it up deep and letting Justin Jefferson do all the work. He's actually putting in the work and making good plays, but I just don't see it going 17 games. They're starting off hot. It's good for them to get 4 wins under their belt. Nobody expected this. I don't think anybody did. Maybe Minnesota fans did, but we could sweep them. I think that we definitely get one from them for sure. We're gonna show them what's up. It's gonna be sweet. All right, so let's do this. I'm gonna go down the line, and we'll see what we got going here. We just beat the Seahawks. We got the Cowboys coming up next after our bye week. I think we win that one. We just got to play bully ball. Then we're on the road again in Minnesota. I could see us dropping that one. I think if we drop that one, we come back with a get-right game against the Titans at home. We go on the road to Green Bay. I think we can win that one. Hell, you know what? I think we can win all the rest of them. I'm not going to get into this. We don't need to do this. Every week I give my prediction, and I always have us winning. So that's just what we're going to do. Lions are going to win all the rest of the games, all the way to the Super Bowl, baby. We're looking good. I love what I'm seeing on the field. It's Victory Tuesday, and that's going to do it for me today. Nice, short, and sweet 30-minute episode. Don't have much more to talk about. We will get back in here next week, though, and talk much more. I do have a busy day, but I had to get in here, talk to you guys. Normally, I could go a little bit longer, but since I had to start a little bit later, I got to get out a little bit earlier. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you for chatting with me. Not much going on today other than a big-time Lions victory. Everybody go enjoy it. I'll be back here next Tuesday, same time. Well, actually, not the same time as this week. It'll be 4 p.m. Or no, it'll be 5 p.m. Sorry, 5 p.m. Detroit time, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. West Coast. Until then, y'all, yes, short and sweet episode. Not a lot of great things to talk about other than the Lions are amazing, and they played their asses off. Sorry, excuse my language. But, yes, go enjoy this Victory Tuesday. Tigers won. They play again tomorrow. Hey, we got it. Derwin Chambers, what's up, baby? How about them Lions? Yes, Derwin. I'm getting out of here right now, but how about them Lions? Cheers, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week for the Tuesday episode. After the bye week, celebrate Victory Tuesday all the way until our next game against the Cowboys, where we're going to lay the smack down there too. All right, y'all, I said bye enough. Peace out.